Hey everyone, welcome back to Hollywood Today, the channel where we cover everything Meghan Markle and all the latest developments surrounding her. So, has Meghan Markle reached the point of asking Jose for testimonials? Is that really where things stand now, Meghan? Have you run out of people willing to speak on your behalf? It seems like your reputation has taken such a hit that you're looking for any kind of boost you can get. Apparently, both Meghan and Harry have approached Jose in hopes of getting a few positive comments from him. But honestly, is that going to make any difference? I really don't think it will. In today's video, we're going to take a look at this newest People magazine article. The last People magazine piece I saw featuring Meghan Markle, aside from that strange article about Lilibet's birthday, whatever that was supposed to be, was packed with affiliate links. Meghan seems incredibly desperate these days, and now it appears she's using the magazine as a platform for testimonials. It's not your publication, Meghan. You don't own People magazine. Or maybe you do, I honestly don't know at this point. But you all know how I feel about Meghan's reviews and testimonials. They're usually not exactly trustworthy. If you haven't watched that video yet, make sure you do because it is genuinely shocking. The reviews featured on her As Ever website were completely out of context and incredibly misleading. The whole thing was such a mess. I'm honestly surprised more people aren't discussing it. But we're about to dive into this latest fiasco, and I cannot wait. Although, who am I kidding? You probably already know exactly how this woman operates. Before we get into that, though, we have to talk about what might just be the wedding of the year. Oh my goodness, Harriet, Sperling, and Peter Phillips have tied the knot. The ceremony was private and wasn't filmed, so we probably won't see much from the actual day. However, these photos from Town and Country have been released, and Harriet looked absolutely stunning. Her daughter Georgina can be seen on the left, while Peter's daughters Savannah and Isla helped carry her train as she walked down the aisle. The ceremony took place at All Saints Church in Kemble. Interestingly, Harriet chose to wear a tiara, but it wasn't one of the 5 tiaras previously worn by Princess Anne. Instead, she selected a piece from Pragnell, the same jeweler responsible for designing her engagement ring. As you can see, she looked absolutely beautiful. There was a little rain during the day, but I doubt anyone minded. The event was attended by several members of the royal family, including Princess Anne, King Charles, Queen Camilla, Princess Beatrice, and Princess Eugenie. Can you believe Beatrice and Eugenie received invitations while Harry and Meghan did not? And of course, Prince William and Princess Catherine were there as well. Just look at Catherine. She looked incredible. That hat, that outfit, everything about it was flawless. This is exactly how it's done. It appears effortless, yet it's one of the most elegant looks I've ever seen from her. Catherine was wearing a cream-colored collared knit maxi dress by Roland, complete with a matching hat. Honestly, it doesn't get much better than that. I can't stop looking at these photos. And you just know Harry and Meghan are paying close attention to every single image. Meghan must be absolutely furious seeing how stunning Princess Catherine looked. I can't imagine she's pleased. I'm sure everyone had a wonderful time. No drama, no controversy, just a happy family celebration. I simply had to share these pictures with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think Harry and Meghan were thinking when they saw these photos? How upset do you think Harry is right now? Maybe he's finally beginning to understand the consequences of his decisions. Then again, perhaps he still has no idea why he wasn't invited. Either way, I'd love to hear your opinions on the wedding. Now, speaking of Harry and some of the bizarre things he does, we need to discuss these photos. Specifically, this strange little perched pose he decided to do. Honestly, I have no idea why. Does Harry normally sit like this? I've never noticed it before. There were plenty of chairs available, but instead, he chose to delicately perch himself on the ground. Ever since those photos appeared, the internet has been relentlessly mocking him. And my goodness, the memes have been incredible. I'm going to show you some of the best ones, and I need you to tell me which one is your favorite because choosing is almost impossible. First, we have this one. I love Nacho. Absolutely perfect. Look at the head tilt and everything. Whoever made that did a fantastic job. Then we have this classic. Just look at it. They've even incorporated Meghan's Nigeria outfit. The tropical palm leaf print makes it even better. Brilliantly done. Next up is Harry Goes Lightly. Very creative. I have to say, I really enjoyed that one. Then there's this one. I honestly don't understand the reference. Can someone explain it to me? I have no idea why he's dressed like that, but somehow it's still funny. And finally, we have this one. Honestly, these memes have become completely out of control. That one is absolutely brilliant. And this one might be one of my favorites. Of course, it's Meghan from Deal or No Deal. Honestly, how has nobody thought of doing this before? It's perfect. Then we have this one with Harry dressed as a cheerleader, complete with a ponytail. That is an absolute classic. Just look at that ponytail for a second. Wow, that's certainly a look. And then there's this one. I have no idea why Harry has been turned into a frog wearing a onesie, but honestly, why not? It's ridiculous, and that's exactly why it's funny. This is another great one, yet another reference to Meghan and that infamous wobbly belly outfit. Whoever made this did a fantastic job. Then we have Harry transformed into some sort of ballerina, complete with a bonnet just to finish it off. And of course, we can't forget this one featuring the famous Meghan Markle bump controversy, the one where people claimed it somehow slid all the way down to her ankles. It's one of those stories the mainstream media never really discusses, so seeing it turned into a meme is pretty hilarious. Now, this next one is so funny, it's almost disturbing. Seriously, if you're eating or about to take a sip of your drink, maybe wait a second. Just look at this. What on earth is happening here? I suppose it's supposed to be The Little Mermaid? We all know Lily supposedly loves The Little Mermaid. Maybe after seeing this version, not so much anymore. Now, this one could actually be my favorite. What do you think? This is a strong contender. Meghan was in such a terrible mood that day. She seemed annoyed with everyone, and honestly, everyone seemed annoyed with her too. That outfit brings back so many memories, which is probably why this meme works so well. And then we have this one as well. Honestly, these are absolutely hilarious. But wait, there's more. Here's another one featuring yet another Meghan outfit. How do people make these look so convincing? The attention to detail is incredible. This one is another meme I don't entirely understand, but I have to admit it's still funny. And then we have the Meghan wedding dress version. Absolutely perfect. Just look at it. So yes, Harry is currently being roasted all over the internet. The very same internet he can't stand. And I'm guessing he's probably not a huge fan of AI either, considering what people have been creating with it. Harry, this is what happens when you deliberately pose for photographs like that. Maybe next time, just use one of the chairs that were available. Sit normally. Don't cross your legs in some awkward way, and don't perch delicately on the floor. Have you considered simply sitting like a regular person? At this point, I genuinely don't think he's ever going to escape this. I can already imagine the merchandise. T-shirts with perch delicately written across them, maybe with a little bird printed on the back. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, I had to share those with you because they genuinely made me laugh. Let me know which one was your favorite in the comments. Now, I also realize some of you aren't on X, so I wanted to update you on a piece of speculation that's currently making the rounds over there. And when I say Harry and Meghan, let's be honest, I really just mean Meghan. We all know Harry had absolutely nothing to do with this. Meghan recently shared this photo of Lily for her birthday. Once again, we have the familiar situation where hair is strategically covering the child's face. However, you can still make out quite a bit, including the profile. But that's not actually what I want to discuss. Someone online found this other image and people are noticing some striking similarities. Take a look. Now, the question being asked is this actually the child being used in the photo? Is this the child people think Meghan may have used instead of Lily? Personally, I don't know what to think. There are arguments flying around from every direction, and honestly, it gets very confusing, but I do want to know what you think. Because when people uploaded the image into AI tools such as Google AI, one of the results that appeared was a children's clothing website called Lil Olives. The search directs users to this website, which sells children's clothing, including some very cute dresses. One of those dresses is this particular outfit, the buttercream bloom dress. Now, maybe this is where Meghan buys some of Lily's clothes. I have absolutely no idea, and to be honest, I don't particularly care. But it is interesting how similar the photos appear when you place them side by side. The resemblance is certainly very close. Another detail people on X have been pointing out is the bracelet. Both children appear to be wearing one. Granted, they're on different wrists, or perhaps one image is reversed, but it's another similarity that people have noticed. As a result, this has become a major talking point on X right now. And honestly, all of this discussion stems from Meghan Markle's own behavior. She seems to believe she's protecting her children's privacy by posting photographs while covering their faces. But in reality, that's not really what's happening. We still see a significant amount of these children online. At this point, Faces aren't even necessary for people to start making observations and comparisons. And because she consistently hides their faces, people naturally become curious about who they're looking at. That's the clickbait factor. Essentially, she's creating curiosity while simultaneously claiming she's protecting privacy. And then she tells everyone that she's handling everything perfectly and that there's nothing wrong with what she's doing, when in reality, the whole situation comes across as incredibly hypocritical. I wanted to mention this because her own actions are fueling these conversations not just on X, but increasingly on other platforms as well. This is what happens when you behave like Meghan Markle. If she simply kept her children completely off social media, people probably wouldn't care nearly as much, and the children would actually have genuine privacy. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think this is Lily? Have you seen this story before? And do you think people would even be having these conversations if Meghan either showed her children's faces openly or chose not to post them at all? Would anyone even be trying to solve this mystery? Honestly, Meghan Markle often ends up creating these situations for herself, which works out quite well for me because I barely have to do anything at all. I simply report on what she does. The situations she finds herself in are usually of her own making. She creates these stories herself, and I'm just here to tell you all about them. Honestly, Meghan Markle never fails to amaze me. But let's move on to this article because it appears that Jose has now been recruited to provide glowing testimonials not only for Meghan but for Harry as well. And let me tell you, when things reach this point, you know they're not going well. I've never seen Jose do anything quite like this before. Take a look. And naturally, the article appears in People magazine, which tells you everything you need to know. As Prince Harry might say, it's a complete setup. The headline reads, Jose Andres shares what friends Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are like as a family exclusive. Well, if it's an exclusive in People magazine, we can probably guess where it came from. Apparently, they're just like everybody else. Really? So, everyone lives in Montecito now, do they? Everyone is estranged from members of their family? Everyone has accusations of bullying floating around? Interesting. It seems they're trying very hard to appear relatable, maybe even authentic. Just wait until you hear what Jose has to say. It's honestly difficult to take seriously. You can practically hear the talking points. According to the article, Jose Andres opened up about his friendship with Meghan and Harry while promoting his new cookbook, Spain My Way. Now, let's pause for a second. Jose is supposed to be promoting a cookbook, yet somehow, the conversation immediately shifts to Meghan and Harry. We've seen this pattern before, haven't we? Every project eventually becomes about Meghan Markle. For whatever reason, Jose says, they've made their kitchen a gathering place, just like any other family. Then he adds, I love how Meghan interacts with her children and with food. Now that is a very odd thing to say. I love how Meghan interacts with her children. Who phrases it like that? It almost sounds as though he's talking about somebody else's children. Wouldn't most people say something like, I love the relationship they have with their children, or they're wonderful parents, or perhaps, it's lovely seeing the bond between a mother and daughter, but I love how Meghan interacts with her children. There's something strangely detached about it. No warmth, no emotion. And then he immediately adds, and food, as though children and food belong in the same category. It's such a bizarre statement. I've seen Meghan interacting with children before, and honestly, I'm not sure I'd describe it the same way. Take this image, for example. That child looks absolutely terrified and seems desperate to be somewhere else. And Meghan's expression? Just look at her eyes. My goodness. Then there was this more recent photo. That child clearly doesn't want to be touched, yet Meghan is right there placing her hands on her anyway. So if we're talking about Meghan's remarkable ability to connect with children, I have to admit I've never personally witnessed it, but Jose keeps going. He says that whenever they meet or talk, their conversations are just like everyone else's. Apparently, they discuss life, family, happy moments, new recipes, and restaurants. Oh, please. The effort to appear relatable is so obvious. I can barely roll my eyes any harder. Then Jose says that he regularly receives texts and calls from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex whenever disasters occur. According to him, they immediately reach out asking, what can we do, and how can we help? Now that's an interesting detail, isn't it? Because according to this version of events, a disaster happens, and before the dust has even settled, Meghan is already texting people asking where she can get involved. It's almost as if she's looking for the next opportunity to insert herself into the story. Jose, Does none of this strike you as public relations? Seriously. How do some people still not see through Meghan Markle? Most people don't immediately start making phone calls about visibility and involvement while a disaster is actively unfolding. Why not simply make a donation and help quietly? Jose then claims that nobody ever hears about these acts of generosity and that they do this kind of thing all the time. Oh, really? Nobody finds out? Then why are we reading about it in People magazine? Millions of people now know about it because you're talking about it publicly. That statement makes absolutely no sense. Of course, Jose also brings up Harry and Meghan's involvement during the California wildfires, and he continues with more praise. He says they're constantly thinking about what's happening around the world and that they don't have to do any of this. According to Jose, they help because they genuinely care. Really? Does Jose know anything about Harry and Meghan at all? If that's true, then why does every appearance seem to come with photographers? Can somebody explain that? Why does every disaster somehow include a camera crew? Why does Meghan always seem perfectly positioned for photographs, conveniently facing the lens while embracing someone? It's so transparent. Then Jose shifts his attention to Harry. Apparently, he greatly admires Harry's trips to Ukraine, so Harry receives his own special testimonial. Jose says, "Not many people do that." And he's right, not many people do, but that doesn't automatically make it a good idea. The whole thing remains confusing because most people still don't understand what Harry's actual role is when he visits these places. What capacity is he attending in? And why does he constantly feel the need to lecture world leaders and the public about conflicts and global issues? That's precisely why most people don't do it, Jose. Because it isn't necessarily their place. But Jose still isn't finished. Honestly, Meghan has certainly gotten maximum value out of this article. He continues by saying that Harry and Meghan could choose to stay comfortably at home and live privately, but instead, they're out there helping even when nobody is watching. They're apparently out there making sure they can be part of the solution as well. Okay, Jose, can you help me understand something? When exactly have Harry and Meghan do charitable work when nobody was watching? I'm genuinely asking. You're telling us that they do all these wonderful things behind the scenes, away from the spotlight. Yet every single time I hear about their charitable efforts, there's a camera nearby or a People magazine article explaining all about it. That's why I struggle to believe that claim. As far as I'm concerned, everything eventually becomes public. So if we're expected to believe there's all this secret philanthropy happening behind closed doors, I'd need a lot more convincing. Jose then wraps things up by saying, "That's why I'm proud to call them my friends." He also says he admires the couple because despite being under constant public scrutiny, they've managed to maintain a normal life. Well, there you have it. Jose seems completely sold on the Harry and Meghan narrative. Maybe he's genuinely convinced. Maybe he's been persuaded. Maybe he's simply doing a favor. Who knows? But let's not forget one important detail. This was supposed to be a book launch. A book launch. The event had absolutely nothing to do with the Sussexes, which is exactly why this all feels so carefully arranged. And honestly, we've seen this pattern from Meghan many times before. Whenever public opinion starts turning against them, suddenly friends appear to offer glowing testimonials. It happens over and over again. In fact, we saw something very similar not long ago in another People magazine article that was packed full of praise and personal endorsements. My guess is they couldn't go back to the exact same people again because it would have looked far too obvious. You can only recycle the same testimonials so many times. Maybe Kelly couldn't be called upon once more because people would start noticing. And as for Serena Williams, she seems to have disappeared from the conversation entirely. So perhaps they're running low on people willing to publicly sing their praises. Because let's be honest, there aren't exactly crowds lining up to defend them these days. Now, Harry did make an appearance at Jose's book launch. And I can't help wondering whether the arrangement was something along the lines of, "If you say a few nice things about us, I'll make sure I show up." So there he is alongside Jose, supporting the event. But where was Meghan? She didn't even attend, which says quite a lot, doesn't it? I thought these two were supposedly close friends. Yet she couldn't find the time to show up and support his new book. Has she even purchased a copy? I highly doubt it. She's probably waiting for someone to send her one for free. We saw the coverage only recently. The headline was something along the lines of Prince Harry supporting the chef at his Los Angeles book launch days before Lilibet's birthday. And even that headline somehow managed to make the story about Harry and Meghan. Think about it. This was a book launch, Jose's book launch, a celebration of his work. Yet somehow the focus shifts back to Harry, Meghan, and Lilibet's birthday. Why? What does a 5-year-old's birthday have to do with promoting a cookbook? It's another example of how everything somehow circles back to them. So from where I'm sitting, things seem pretty difficult over there in Montecito. Harry and Meghan appear to be in constant reputation repair mode, always searching for ways to improve public perception. The problem is, they're running out of people willing to publicly vouch for them. Now Jose has been drafted into the role, despite the fact that he should be promoting his own project and enjoying his own moment. Instead, the conversation turns into another Sussex publicity exercise. And honestly, if Jose wasn't involved with World Central Kitchen, would Harry and Meghan even spend time with him? That's the question. I doubt it. That connection seems to be the entire reason they're interested. He's their gateway into charitable projects and humanitarian headlines. As for Archwell's philanthropy efforts, where exactly are those these days? It feels like they struggle to establish meaningful partnerships on their own and end up leaning heavily on Jose's work instead. Anyway, I'd love to hear what all of you think. What are your thoughts on Jose offering such glowing praise for Harry and Meghan? At the end of the day, his big takeaway seems to be that they're normal people. Okay, thanks for letting us know. And do you think this is happening because Meghan is running out of friends willing to speak publicly on her behalf? Who do you think will be the next person asked to provide a testimonial? Honestly, I have no idea. The list of available candidates seems to be getting shorter and shorter. These two just come across as increasingly desperate. But that's all for today's show. I hope you've enjoyed this video. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below because I genuinely enjoy reading them. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll continue bringing you more content very soon. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye!